Hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Hello, hi all of you. Sorry for the slight delay. Hi Vishal, hello Khushbu. Hi Yogita, Shreya. Hello Sejal, Roma, Shravasti. Hi Neha, hello Tejas. Hi Ajay. A very good evening to all of you. And I hope you attended the session on verbal reasoning that happened at 12 o'clock. Yesterday also, I took a last lap where we discussed critical reasoning and some verbal reasoning questions. Today, we are going to devote our time to vocabulary and grammar, which form an integral part of MAH CET English. Right. So over the sessions that we've had, right, I'm doing this series with you, 100 most expected MAH CET English questions. So in those sessions, we have covered some grammar concepts, we have covered some vocabulary question types. So today it will be a summary of sorts of whatever we've already done, right? I'll show you some common errors that you can be asked to identify in grammar, some fill in the blank questions on grammar, right? And I'll show you the various vocabulary question types that were asked last year or that are commonly asked in MAHCT. That is on the agenda. Okay. So, good evening, those who've just joined, and let's begin. Yes. Okay. So, of course, this is always our agenda that we'll practice some probable MHCET questions and we'll see the concepts behind them, the approach to those questions. Okay, so that you perform well in the exam by attempting these questions accurately. Right. So let's have a look at some grammar questions first. And of course, each grammar question is going to address a grammar concept. Right. So which all concepts are actually asked in the exam when it comes to grammar? See, pretty much everything. Okay. All the basics, all the fundamentals of grammar are tested on. So, parts of speech. When I say parts of speech, I am not just talking about the 8 parts of speech, but also their properties. So, for instance, verbs, they exhibit this property of tenses. So, you can be questioned on tenses. You can be questioned on active passive voice. Subject verb agreement, a very fertile ground to frame questions from, right? Articles, a and the. Last year, there was a question on reported speech as well, direct, indirect speech. And you can be asked these errors also, modifier and parallelism errors, right? So these are the concepts that you need to be well versed with when it comes to grammar. And you don't just need the concepts, you also need to understand how to apply those concepts, right? So that's what we are going to do today. Here's your first question. First, we'll do some simple fill in the blank questions, each question testing one concept, okay? And then we'll come to some sentence correction, error spotting questions, etc. Right? Okay, so here's your first question. The jury dash a unanimous decision. What do you say? So, Raini, सबसे पहले तो देखते हैं if what you're saying is correct or not. Let's see how many questions you get correct. So don't assume these things, right? You never know. You may be good at something at which you think you aren't. Okay. Moreover, a lot of grammar, trust me, 60-70% of grammar can be attempted through your intuition, through your gut feeling, right? So let's see how you fare today. MHCT grammar is not that difficult, if you ask me. MHCT vocabulary, if 50% of it is moderate, 50% of it is easy also, right? So we just need to identify the right questions. Okay, B, Bangalore is what you say. Absolutely correct, right? So the concept tested here is of collective nouns. We know that collective nouns are usually singular, right? Because it's the name of one group. Yes, so the jury is the name of one group and it is acting as a whole right now. It took a unanimous decision in one voice. Everybody was on the same page. So it was acting as one single entity. And that's why, because it is one, it will take a singular verb. The jury takes a unanimous decision. Take is plural, so eliminated. Were plural, have plural, are plural. Okay. All right then. Let's come to the next question. The team dash wearing new jerseys. Yes. Siddhi, have taken would be plural in case you are answering for the previous one. Have is plural, right? in the third person. They have. Okay. Chetan says A. All right. A, E. Okay. Let's see. Is it A? Is it B? So we are talking about jerseys. See, plural. Can the can one team, you know, can there be one jersey that can fit an entire team? Let's say a team of 12 people. Can there be a jersey that can fit the entire team? No. So the moment I say jerseys, that means I'm talking about the individual members, isn't it? So while a collective noun is usually singular, there are exceptions. What is the exception? If my focus is on the individual members rather than the group as a whole. Okay, if that is the case, then the verb that I'll use with team is going to be plural. So is eliminated, was eliminated, has been eliminated, right? Was wearing eliminated. It's only be that is left. The team are. Okay, hope this makes sense to you. All of you who answered A, this is the exception to the collective noun being singular rule, where when the focus is on the individual members rather than the group, the collective noun becomes plural and takes a plural verb. Right? So, for instance, another example, the jury are divided. The jury are divided. Now, see, if there is a division, that means it's no longer acting as one single group, right? Again, the focus then comes on individual members. Some people are leaning towards a decision, some people are leaning against it, right? So the jury are divided on so and so decision. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the next question then. The police dash looking into the matter. The police dash looking into the matter. Okay. What do the others say? All right. Okay. So I've got B, I've got A. Okay, C also, all right. D. Okay, interesting answers. So, one clue for you. Okay, although this is a common concept, still, let's say you do not know whether it should be singular or plural. Okay, so do you notice something? Is and was both can fit. Yes, because no context is given to us. It can be a sentence in the present tense also. It can be in the past tense also. Yes, the jury has been looking into the matter also makes sense in that case. So that means probably it is not singular because is also makes sense, was also makes sense, has been also makes sense, will does not make sense at all. So probably it is not singular. So this is just a smart way of going about your vocabulary and grammar questions, eliminating on the basis of grouping. Okay, if all of these seem to fit, that means probably none of them do. B is the answer. The police are looking into the matter. Now, if you've attended the 100 most expected sessions, then you know that there are certain nouns that are plural, always plural. They are plural by construction. That's how we phrase it in grammar. So, police, poultry, right? Vermin, gentry, okay? They are always plural, right? People is also plural. So police, people, cattle, always plural. So the cattle are grazing the field, okay? The gentry the gentry are absent from this party. Gentry are the sophisticated people of a place. Vermin are these small little insects that trouble you. Poultry, you understand, right? So always plural, right? So that's what I'm saying, no, Khushbu. The present tense can also fit, the past tense can also fit because we don't know, no, that to which tense this sentence belongs. Right. So if is can also fit, was can also fit, has been can also fit, then probably none of them do, right? That was my point. Mm, Police is a plural noun. That's how we say it. Okay, police is a plural noun by construction. Don't uh, put it into the category of your usual collective nouns. Okay, police is always going to be plural. Even if the police as a whole, let's say there is no division in the department, right? Even then it will be plural. It is always plural. Okay, don't confuse it with your other collective nouns. So these are some nouns that are always plural. Okay, correct, Ame. Absolutely correct. Now, the police are looking into the matter, and those of you who read the newspapers must have read this a lot of times. Okay, in let's say the Indian Express, the Hindu, they always use the plural for police. Okay, so that's where I got to know first. Okay, so as a child, when I read the newspaper, I felt, oh, why are they using the plural with police? So that's when I found out that it is the plural that we should use with police. Okay, now coming to the fourth question. A good question, Shreya. I'll address this. Let's attempt the fourth question, then I'll address your question. Yes. So we have come to pronouns, it seems. Okay, A, B, all right. C, okay. So I've got A, B, C. Okay, all right, all right. So now there's a flood of C, a flood of C's in the chat box. Absolutely correct. It should be C, right? Whenever you are confused in these questions, no, again, I'm trying to give you some hacks, right? So if let's say you are unsure about which pronoun to use and you are confused, there is an and here. That means it's joining two ideas. So just break the sentence into two. Anna can handle this well. Now, what will you say? I can handle this well or me can handle this well? Those who said A. I can handle this well or me can handle this well? You would say I can handle this well, right? So it should be C. And the grammatical logic is that I need a subjective pronoun here. I need a subject here, right? I need the subject for this verb, can handle, which is I. Me is not a subject. Me is an objective pronoun. Okay, so C. Now, did anyone say E? Okay, B and C. No, myself does not fit. Those who said B, myself. When do we use myself? It is a reflexive pronoun. Okay, so you use myself when, let's say, the same person is the doer of the action and the same person is the receiver of the action. So I love myself. I love myself. So the same person is the doer of this action and the same person is the receiver. So instead of saying I love me, I should say I love myself. I hurt myself. I hurt myself. Now let's say I was chopping some vegetables. So I was the one who hurt. I was the doer of this hurt and I was the receiver of this hurt as well. So the same person is the subject and the same person is the object. Then in the objective case, you use myself. Here, that's not the case at all, right? So we'll not use myself here. Another circumstance in which we use myself to emphasize something. Oh, I did this all by myself. Nobody helped me. Okay, the chief minister himself came to the party. So just to emphasize, that वो खुद आए थे, right? मैंने ये खुद किया है. So I did this all by myself. This is an emphatic usage of myself. But neither of the usages fits here, and that's why B cannot be the answer, E cannot be the answer. All right. So just a second. I'm just हाँ ठीक है. The stream is fine. Someone asked this. When will we use myself? No, not at all, Ajay, not at all. I myself brought those cylinders upstairs. Let's say you dragged the cylinders upstairs. So I myself brought these cylinders upstairs. Right? Receiver and doer, when they are the same, that is when we call it a reflexive pronoun. Reflection हो गया ना? Receiver और doer एक दूसरे का reflection है. That's why खुशबू. Now, Shreya asked a question earlier that how to differentiate between collective nouns and plural nouns, right? collective noun and plural noun. Now, see this. Plural noun, let's say wolf. The plural of wolf is wolves. They need not be in a group. Let's say you are referring to all the wolves that exist in this world, then you'll use the plural wolves. They need not be organized in a group, isn't it? But the moment they become organized, the moment you see a certain number of wolves who stick together through thick and thin, right, you call them a pack. Similarly, workers. So let's say you're talking about workers in general, or all the workers in the world, or the workers in your factory, you use workers. But the moment your workers have, organized themselves for a specific purpose, you call them a union. That's the difference between a collective and a plural noun. Plural noun is, it just means that I'm talking about multiple things, whereas collective noun shows that they have organized themselves for a particular purpose, let's say, right? That's the difference. Okay. When do we use oneself? Okay, a good question. So, one should listen to oneself. Okay, so let's say you are confused about a life decision, and I tell you, you should listen to yourself, do what your heart says. And then I say, in fact, everyone should do this. So I generalize this and I say, one should listen to oneself. Right? So this is again a reflexive usage only. One should listen to oneself. So you are the one who is actually performing this action, and you are the one who is receiving this action of listening also. So one should listen to oneself. Okay. One should love oneself. One should love oneself. So this is just a generalized form of, let's say, myself, yourself, themselves, etc. That's the usage. Right? Jury, army, collective, absolutely. Army is a collective noun. Jury is a collective noun. Okay, it is not plural. The plural will be armies. The plural will be juries. So don't confuse this. Okay, armies, the armies of the countries. Right? Hope this makes sense. Now, coming to the fifth question, let's see what you say. Yes, bench is a collective noun. Just like jury, bench is also a collective noun. Everyone in the family but Dash had heard the news. Okay, all right. Okay. So D versus A in the chat box right now. I think again you can be a little sly here and use some elimination to your advantage. D, B, A, all right. But a lot of B's and D's. Okay. Good that I took up this question. Right. So, there is, of course, see, a lot of grammar you can attempt just by thinking, okay, what sounds correct. But for some part of grammar, you need rules. This is one such question. So, after a preposition, such as here, but is acting as a preposition. It's not a conjunction, it's a preposition. As a preposition, but means except. Okay? It means except here. All right. So everyone in the family except. Now, after a preposition, whenever you use a pronoun, it has to be an objective pronoun. It has to be an object. Okay. Why? Why is that the case? Because preposition exists as a phrase, as a group of words. This group of words has a preposition plus a noun or a pronoun that we call the object of the preposition. इसको बोलते हैं हम object of the preposition. Now, when the name itself is object of the preposition, it of course has to be in the objective case, it has to be an objective pronoun. So, everyone in the family, what would you say? Except she or except her? Everyone in the family except her and not she. Okay. Moreover, see, everyone in the family except, let's say, you are talking about a couple, they hadn't heard the news, but everyone in the family knew about it. So, if you feel that she is correct, then even they is correct. Yes, then even they is correct. So, eliminated. Herself does not fit here. Everyone in the family except us had heard the news. Now, even this would fit. See, grammatically, even this would fit. But her is better because we are leaving out. So, probably we are leaving out one person, right? So, ideally, we should not have had us here. But because it is there, still the better choice will be her. Okay? Hope this makes sense. Grammatically, even E is fine, but the one that looks better because we are leaving someone out, so probably we are leaving just one person out. That's why I'm choosing her. That's the only reason. Break the sentence. I said that you should break the sentence when there is a conjunction. And was a conjunction there. But is not a conjunction. Yes, but is a preposition here. As in, it is a conjunction in general, but here it is a preposition. You get it? So, everyone but her. They invited everyone but her. Okay, everyone but her knew about it, right? Yes, it sounds weird. That's why I told you that for this you need to go by the rule. The rule matters here. After the preposition, the noun or pronoun that you use, it has to be in the objective case, right? Object of the preposition. Clear to everyone? All right. Thank you, guys. Those of you who are leaving such good comments. Thank you so much, Divyansh. Yes. So, question 6. Yes. Article question. Yes. The concept now is of articles. So, okay, Khushbu, good question. I'll address this. Let's finish this. Okay, the uniques. Oh my God, uniques, I've got your comment in one go. All right, this is the answer. We are talking about a specific bag, right? I'm not just saying that it could be any bag that belongs to this lady. I'm talking about a specific bag, so it has to be the. Okay, then I'm talking about a specific lady, the one who is dressed in black. So it has to again be the. C is the only possible choice. Others don't make sense. Okay, and thank God nobody said E. I hope nobody said E. Okay, good. So C is the answer here. Now, see when how to identify whether a particular word is being used as a conjunction or a preposition. See what function it is serving in the sentence. What role is it playing in the sentence? So I watched a movie yesterday, but I didn't like it. I watched a movie, but I didn't like it. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, my video is this side, no? So I watched a movie, but I didn't like it. Now, here you are clearly creating a contrast, and through this contrast, you are joining two ideas. I watched a movie, I didn't like it. You're joining them using this but. Right. So this is a conjunction because that's the job of a conjunction to join two ideas using a specific relationship, here being contrast. But when you said everyone but her. So everyone but her knows about this, right? So here, am I joining two ideas here like this? So I am just trying to say that everyone leaving her, everyone except her. So I'm just leaving her out, and that's the idea, that everyone minus her. So it's not that I'm joining everyone and her here. No. Okay. I am just explaining what is the relationship. Okay. Basically, I want to say everyone minus one, and that's why I'm using this preposition to indicate that minus, to indicate that leaving out. So that's the difference. That's how you identify whether a word is a conjunction or a preposition. Right? Okay. So I think, I hope now it is clear. Ame, in the first sentence, yes, it was a conjunction. In the second one, it's a preposition. Okay. I like nothing but coffee. So I like nothing except coffee. I am not saying, I'm not joining nothing and coffee here. I'm just explaining that nothing minus coffee. Okay. So that's the idea. Question 7. Yes. Rima is learning to play dash guitar these days. So, article again. Let's see. Oh. Sorry. The right screen is visible to you. Fine. Comma is there. It means no, Khushbu. That's not essential. That's not essential. That a comma has to be there. I wanted to come. I wanted to go, but could not. Oh, sorry. Just give me a second. Some issue with the pen. Yeah. So I wanted to go, but could not, but couldn't, right? So you see here, there is no comma, but I'm clearly drawing a contrast. I wanted to go, I could not. I'm joining these two ideas. This is a conjunction. I don't want to say here I wanted to go except could not. No. So whenever you can replace but with except, that's when it's a preposition. Otherwise, it's a conjunction. So A, D, C, E. Oh my God, pretty much everything I've got. Let's have a look. So guitar is a musical instrument. Yes, every musical instrument shares some properties, isn't it? So for instance, if you learn to play one guitar, you can usually play all the instruments that or all such wooden objects that can be called a guitar. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's not that you learn to play just one guitar. So that's why a cannot be the answer. I'm learning to play a guitar these days. You're learning the musical instrument. You're not learning to play just one that singular object. कि उसके अलावा आप कोई और आपको object दे दिया जो गिटार है, आप वो बजा ही नहीं पाओगे. That's not the case, right? So a goes out of the window and can anyway not come. Right. So the moment a goes out of the window, A or C also goes away. So we are there left with no word required or the. The is the answer here. I'm learning to play the guitar these days. Why this confusion arises is because in our usual conversations, we generally skip any article here. Okay. We simply say, oh, he's learning to play guitar. But that's not correct. Whenever you talk about musical instruments, now you can note down this rule. Before the names of musical instruments, you have to put the article the. Okay. Does it make sense? Before the names of musical instruments, we have to put the article the. Okay. So that's why the answer is C. All right. So now I'll go invisible for a while so that you can read this question. You have to identify the incorrect sentences. Okay. Let's see what you say here. Read it carefully and tell me what the answer is. Perfect. Those who've joined us through the app, you guys can also participate in the chat. I'll read your messages as well. Okay. D Delhi is what you say. All right. Ajay says A. Yogesh says D again. Okay. A. Oh, a new candidate B has emerged. All right. D, A. Okay. So it's A, D. I have also got some B's. So basically C and E. Okay, E also I've got. Okay, okay. So that means A, B and D is a combination that none of you think is incorrect. ठीक है, चलो. Let me just come back. मैं प्रकट हो जाती हूँ और फिर हम ये डिस्कस करते हैं. Right. So, if you see here, each sentence is actually testing you on a grammar concept. Let's see what those concepts are. A. Interestingly, there is a growing trend for different types of caffeinated drinks that dash available in stores. Right. So, what does this that refer to? That is a pronoun here. What does this pronoun that refer to? A lot of students think that that can just be a singular pronoun. No, that can be plural also. Okay. So, the that here refers to caffeinated drinks. And therefore, this will be are. Isn't it? That are available. Perfect, Sneha. Okay. So, A is erroneous for sure. Right. Now, B says Walmart along with Barnes and Noble. Look at this. So, this comes in between these two commas. These two commas, when I put some information between two commas, specifically between two commas in English, these two commas are called parenthetical commas. Parenthetical commas. Parenthesis, all of you understand? Brackets. These commas are as good as brackets, putting brackets. And what kind of information do we put in brackets? We put additional information in brackets, not main information, not essential information. So that means this is inessential information. The subject is still Walmart. This does not become a part of the subject. This is additional. Subject Walmart hai. In that case, what should the verb be? The verb should be offers. Again, good Sneha. It should be offers. So Walmart along with Barnes and Noble offers. Hope this is clear. Anything that we place deliberately between these two commas is additional information. Okay. Along with anyway is called an additive phrase. It's used to introduce additional information. So this is a subject verb concept, subject verb agreement. This is a pronoun concept here. Let's see what is there in C. I don't know if each of these have in-house research. I don't know if each of these have in-house research. Each. The moment you say each, that means your focus is on one thing at a time. Each is a pronoun that is always singular. Okay. So it cannot be have, it has to be has. Each of these has in-house research. Make sense? So again, a pronoun concept here. So this is called an indefinite pronoun, each, and this is called a relative pronoun. The names are not important for you. Nobody is going to ask you names. D. I think it was Mercedes that had free coffee at one of their stores in Germany. So, there, it's plural, right? It's a plural pronoun. What is the plural noun that has been used before it? There is no plural noun, isn't it? Mercedes is singular. So when I'm talking about one company, one brand, it should be its stores, not their stores, right? Yes, Khushbu, correct. At one of their stores. Inside can be used if you want to specify that, okay, it was within the confines of their stores, right? But at is not incorrect. You are giving the location of the free coffee. At is a preposition of location. So instead of talking about the fact that it was within the confines, you are just saying that, okay, it was at that location. At is fine. Have, okay. So Khushbu, see, in the first and the second person, have is used with I also. So I have. Okay, so in that case, it is singular. When I say you have, so if I'm just talking to Khushbu and I'm directly talking to her, I'll say you have. So here also it's not plural. But in the third person, this is first person, this is second person. In the third person, it is always plural. Okay, I hope I'm not writing. Things are visible to you. Okay. In the third person, you can't say he have, she have. You'll just say they have. So here it is plural. Okay. Shouldn't it be one of their stores? No. I think the confusion that you have is because it is one of many. So shouldn't we use the plural? Yes, we are using the plural here for stores. Okay. So if I'm, see, this is one particular company, right? So for instance, if one movie has 6, 7 songs, right? So I think it was DDLJ that had one of its songs shot in Switzerland, right? One of its songs, you will say, right? Not one of their songs. अब आपने songs use किया because one of many, right? One of many. So here also we've retained that structure, one of the stores. But here it can't be there. There refers to something before it, and this is not plural. Okay, so that's why all are incorrect here. And I understand your confusion in D because these days, we have started referring to organizations, brands, in fact, newspapers also as plural entities. We've started recognizing the fact that companies are made up of people, and that's why we've started referring to them as plural entities. But that's a recent trend. Grammar has not caught up with that trend as such. Okay. So in your spoken English, by all means, go for there. But in written English, because you're preparing for an exam, don't. Okay? So D Delhi is the answer. Okay, all right. Has is used when you need a singular verb to indicate possession. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's see what you say. Meanwhile, I'm just answering a query, utilizing my time. Novel says D. Others, Sejal B, Payal A, Saili B, Aman A, B, okay, a lot of B's. All right. Suddenly, there's a flood of B's in the chat box. Okay. All right. So, Afzal says A. Okay. All right, let's have a look. The actor dash I admire is always kind and altruistic. Altruistic, again, very generous, very giving, caring for your fellow humankind. Okay. So, generous, giving, magnanimous, these are synonyms. Magnanimous, sorry. Right. So, the actor which I admire, see, because it's a human being, an adult human being, in fact, a human being, it does not matter whether the person is a child or an adult. For human beings, you do not use which. Okay. For animals, you can use which, but for human beings, you do not. Now, that would fit here. It's not incorrect, but it is informal to use that for living beings. It is informal to use that for living beings. Okay. When I admire does not make sense. So what are we left with? Who versus whom? This is actually a who versus whom question, right? So the actor who I admire or the actor whom I admire, that's what you had to decide. And you have correctly decided that B is the answer here. How? See this. Just look at this part here. Whenever you get such who whom questions and there is a clause, a subject and a verb that is there already after this dash, that means I don't need the subject. I rather need the object. Subject तो who होता है, पर यहाँ पर तो subject already है. The subject is already there. I don't need it. I need the object. Also a very easy hack. Think of it as a question and then answer it. I admire he or him. What will you say? You will say I admire him. You'll never say he. So अगर him है answer तो whom आएगा question में. Object object. अगर he है answer तो who आएगा question में. Make sense? Okay. So B Bangalore is the answer here. All right. Yes. Please like the session. That's all that we ask of you. Question 10. What do you say? Your threat will not work against dash women as we are educated and are aware of our rights. Okay, Saili says A. Tejas E. Sejal D. A, E, D, C, B. No, Payal, who and whom are for living things, not non-living. E, okay, C, B, A. Very diverse responses. Your threat will not work against these women. No, we cannot use these. We cannot use those. Okay. Then why do I need the article the? See, it is clearly given that we are referring to women in the first person. So I am, let's say there's a group of women and I am among them and I am speaking this sentence. Your threat will not work against dash women as we are educated and are aware of our rights. So because of I can't say these women, those women. No, it has to be we or us. That was the choice here. It was A versus B. Okay. Now against the women, why the? Yes, what is the reference that I am talking about some specific women? So your threat will not work against. I have to refer to myself here against. See, just forget this part. For a moment, forget this part. You are just describing, no, you in a way, after the pronoun, you are just adding detail. Yes? So what will you say? Your threat will not work against us or your threat will not work against we? You'll say your threat will not work against us. Against preposition, after a preposition, objective pronoun. So, this is just a description of us. कौन है us? Us women. Okay? Us actually refers to women here. So, this is the noun for which I'm using this pronoun. Make sense to everyone? It should be us, not e, the women. There is no context that I'm talking about some specific women here. Okay, and when I refer to women in general, I don't need the. And moreover, the moment you say the, you are treating them as someone else, right? So, us women. Okay, perfect hai. Let's go to the 11th one. Again, I'm going invisible for a while. It's an easy question. That's just that the sentence is long. That's it. So, just eliminate. Observe the differences between options and eliminate. Okay, so I've got some responses. C, D, B, all right. Khushbu, read my comments for object and verb. All right, C, D, B. Let's have a look. Which is correct? Okay, I'm coming back and then let's discuss. Right. So here, if you see, this part is in parenthetical commas. Remember, we just discussed them, parenthetical commas, brackets. If you look at A, D, and E, those who are saying A, D, or E. So why am I putting a comma in between the subject and the verb? Do we say I am a teacher? Is this a correct sentence? Why unnecessarily put a comma between a subject and a verb? There's no need. At this very juncture, Santali was spoken, Santali has been spoken, Santali will be spoken. There is no need of a comma here. So at this very juncture, you eliminate A, D, and E. The choice was between B and C. There's always going to be a choice between two close options, right? So here you spot the differences. You read vertically and you spot the differences. And here is the difference. Has a repertoire or had been a repertoire. Okay. So has a collection or had been a collection. The language had been a collection itself or the language has a collection. That's what we'll say. No, this language has a collection of textbooks, news portals, and television channels. B is the only correct one. Moreover, if you observe carefully, textbooks, news portals. Why a comma between news portals? It's not required. Rather, a comma is required here. I mean, a comma, if you have to put it, you should put it here and not here. You get it? B, Bangalore is the answer here. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Chalo, great. So B is the answer. Let's go to the next one. Again, I'm going to go invisible for a while. And acha, I don't need to actually. Yes, read this. Question 12. Option C is 3, of course. Option C is 3. Okay. Had been can be used for perfect and perfect continuous both. So had been spoken is perfect. Okay. I have been speaking with an ing, that's perfect continuous. Okay. So D Delhi is what I get in the chat box. So the class has unanimously said that D Delhi is the answer. All right. Uh, Perfect. D Delhi is the answer. Now, this is a parallelism question. Remember, I wrote modifiers and parallelism in the beginning. Mentors are expected to share clinical knowledge. So, to share clinical knowledge, develop necessary skills, help others succeed. So, when all of this is in the base form of the verb, share, develops, help, then this should also be support. Why should it be ing with an ing? Right? So, this is parallelism. To maintain consistency in your words, unless you require to change them, right? So here, when you are just writing a list, so you will keep the elements of the list uniform: share, develop, help, support. Absolutely correct. D Delhi is the answer. So happy to see this. Now, question 13. What do you say? Back to fill in the blanks. This a similar question came in Snap this year. A question similar to question 13. Let's see what you say. D, E, B, C. Okay. So this is our last grammar question. I want your enthusiastic response. After this, we'll come to vocab. Okay. A lot of you say B also. Let's have a look. Now, the article was much interesting. Why should I use much here? Uh, Very is the idea that I want to indicate, right? So it should be very, not much. The article was very much interesting. This much becomes redundant here. Okay. So very in itself suffices. It conveys the idea that it was, uh, I mean, you want to show a higher degree of interesting. 2 is incorrect. In case some of you mark D as the answer, let me show you why D is incorrect. See, 2 is usually used for things that are negative. So, he's too aggressive, right? She's too violent. So, you put negative adjectives after 2. Whereas, when you want to convey positive ideas such as interesting, you can't say too interesting because 2 means excessively. And when do we find some trait excessive? When it's a negative trait, right? So very for positive, 2 for negative. Okay. So this was about grammar. Redundant means useless. It's extra. Okay, superfluous. So on this note, let's come to grammar. Let's come to, sorry, vocabulary. Let's look at some synonyms, antonyms such as redundant, superfluous, etc. So, the kind of vocabulary questions that are asked in MAH CET, which we have covered in our 100 Most Expected series also, fill in the blanks, synonym, antonym, one-word substitution, spelling, contextual vocab, where word usage has been asked, idioms, a phrasal verb was asked last year, and analogy questions. So, these are some usual question types. Now, 2 is also used for comparison, yes. So, if I say, mm, let me think of an example, okay, to show you the comparison idea. But yes, it is. All right. So these, I mean, we'll cover all these question types in our vocabulary question. First, let's do some direct vocabulary. So here's a synonym question. What is the synonym of emaciated? Yes, tell me. We've again covered this in our 100 most expected session. Synonym you have to give me. Yes, Divyam, there is a two structure also. So yes, in that sense, it is used. So when we say it is too cold, it is too cold to touch. That means it's so cold that I can't touch it. So here there's a comparison, implicit comparison, that you are saying the degree of its coldness is so high that I can't touch it. Okay, so two structure. So the food is too less to suffice for everyone. It is too cold to touch. It is too hot to go out today, right? So, okay. A is what you say. Acha, Deepak. Oh my God, Deepak. I thought so many of you are saying A. And I was so disappointed. Yes, it should be B, scrawny, emaciated. Okay, someone who's extremely thin. Right, someone who is wasted, someone who is perhaps so weak that he or she has become thin. That is the idea of emaciated. Okay, so a person who's bony. Okay, so that's why scrawny, which also means somebody who's lean, extremely thin. Okay, when I use this word um, skinny, right, which has a negative connotation to it, all of these are synonyms. Okay. Empower, not at all related to empower someone. Latent is hidden. Lament is when you have remorse or when you regret something, right? When you are sorrowful about something. Contemplative, when you introspect, when you think about something, that's when you contemplate the subject, when you think about something in detail. So ये सब related नहीं है. Okay, learn mode, I'll do that. uh, Corpulent is the opposite. Yes. Corpulent is the opposite. Corpulent is someone who is roly-poly. Yes. Someone who is overweight. Someone who's chubby. So Santa can be called corpulent. Right? Okay. Question 2. Which of the following is a synonym of maladroit? Yes, XYZ. Maladroit. That's okay. Learn mode. C, B. Okay. What else? A. All right. Fine. What else? Corpulent. Acha, or maladroit. But you must have heard this word adroit. So, see this. Mal means bad or something that's negative, right? Like malpractice, malnutrition. Okay. Adroit, adroitness is in fact a word in itself. Adroit is a word in itself. सो मैल उसके आगे हमने प्रीफिक्स ऐड किया है सो एड्रॉइटनेस इज योर स्किल विद योर हैंड्स हाउ वेल यू यूज योर स्किल्स with hands particularly. Okay, that is adroit. So somebody who's maladroit is not very skillful. So this person is not very adept at using something. This person is rather inept at using something. Okay, not skillful, clumsy. That's the idea here. Okay, so inept is the answer and good if you answered C. Some of you did, but some of you also said A. Okay. Ace is proficient. Oh, I am sorry, we had to give a synonym. हाँ तो synonym देना था तो मैं ठीक बोल रही हूँ ठीक है ये तो opposite है antonym है ये तो right for a minute you confused me there are so many A's in the chat box by the same person so antonym है proficient means you are skillful so if you're proficient in a language you are skilled at using that language malapropism is the incorrect use of a word such that it creates a funny effect. Okay, so for instance, let's say I want to say electoral board. Okay, electoral board, the board that handles elections. And instead of that, I say electrical board. So use of a similar word such that it creates a funny effect is called malapropism. So that is not at all related to maladroit. ठीक है सब यही है everybody is with me yes okay yes malapropism we had done earlier indebted when you are indebted to someone आप उनके आभारी हो right that's how we put it in Hindi that you are very grateful to them because they've done some favor for you inchoate something that's unclear something that's rudimentary in its very initial stages that is inchoate an inchoate wish could be a wish that you yourself have not clearly formed okay so some of you wish to go to these schools but it's a very inchoate wish you yourself are not very clear about it right so make it a goal not a wish question 3 not a synonym of exclusion okay not a synonym of exclusion so exclusion clud okay plus clois what do they refer to cluster cloister include exclude it means to, something that is contained within another thing right so it means to contain exclude not contain What is the synonym? Not a synonym. Not a synonym बताना है. Question ढंग से पढ़ना. Okay. D. A. All right. Ostracize. So, ostracize means when you exclude someone from a group, when you banish them, when you exile them. Okay, so ostracism, banishment, to snub someone again means that you are not giving due importance to that person, you are ignoring that person, you are excluding that person from places. Repulse again to when you repel someone, right? You again don't want to be near that person. So all of these are related ideas. It is only embrace that is not a synonym, and that's why D Delhi is our answer. Not C. To snub someone also means this, no, that when you ignore them, you rebuff them, right? You spurn them. That's the idea. So ये भी नहीं है. Everything is clear so far. Yes. So far so good. So D Delhi. These were some synonym antonym questions. Let's see this one. Yes, interesting question. More of a combination of GK and vocab. Let's see what you say here. The study of human faces. I think some options you can easily eliminate. So just eliminate and tell me which options you've narrowed down to. Okay. Let's see what you say. B, D, C, D Delhi. A lot of D's. All right. Good. Those who said D. Now, this one was a tricky question because it relies on your general knowledge also, apart from your vocabulary. Because let's say a study like limnology is not so usual that you use it in your daily conversations. It means the study of lakes, their physical features, their chemical composition, etc. So, limno here refers to lakes. Ornithos means bird, the study of birds. Oros means mountain, the study of mountains. Physiology, all of us understand. So this was the one that I expected you to eliminate. The study of human, the organs of our body, right? Our body parts, that is physiology. So it is physiognomy that is the answer. It is not really a science. Okay, it is a pseudoscience. It is a part of, it's just like astrology, right? So for instance, when you look at a person and through their features, you try to deduce their psychological characteristics. Oh, how must the nature of this person be? That is called physiognomy. So D Delhi. Good, good, good. Those who said D, I can see your even if you write one D, I can see it. Okay, you don't need to write multiple Ds. Here's an analogy question because analogy questions uh, have come in the past in MAH CET. So tell me, give me a similar pair. Yes. Yes, correct, Divyam, correct. Okay. A, D, C. I want more responses. E, all right. So pretty much everything that means. Okay. Savage is to barbaric. Even if you don't know the exact meanings, although they are fairly common words, even if you do not know the exact meaning, you can still guess that they are similar ideas. Okay, they are synonyms. They are not antonymous ideas. isn't it? Okay. Now let's see which are the ones that are easy. So swallow is to reject. They are opposites, right? So rejected. Okay. Then lucid is to turbid. I found this also an easy pair. Something that's very lucid. So lucidly expressed is clearly expressed. Lucid is clear. Turbid. Remember, we used to check turbidity of liquids in science in school. So turbid, how unclear it is, how muddy it is, right? Again, opposites. Then this one could be a challenge for you. If you do not know the meaning of puerile, that could be a little challenging. However, if you know the meaning of the word virulent, then this is an easy question for you. D. Delhi is the answer because venomous and virulent mean the same. Something that is poisonous, toxic for us, and therefore very harmful. That is venomous, that is virulent. Okay. Now, puerile, if you again, puerile is a high frequency word, you should know its meaning. What does it mean? That's puerile behavior. What kind of behavior would it be? Savage is negative. Okay, although in slang we use it to mean a witty remark, okay, or a burning, a biting remark, right? So that's slang. Okay. So puerile is childish, whereas senile is it refers to old people. When their cognitive function declines because of old age, we call them senile, right? So again, antonymous ideas. Precocious is to pernicious, no relationship as such between these two words. We have done both these words. Okay. So yes, so virulent is when you use toxic language. So that is the context XYZ. Okay. And so virulent, vitriolic, we use it in that sense. Vitriol also means acid, but we say vitriolic to mean such bad language. Okay. Precocious. She is a precocious child. That means she is wise beyond her age. Wise beyond her age. That's precocious. If you are wise beyond your age, you are precocious. Usually we use it for children. Pernicious. Pernicious is something that's harmful. Okay. So no relationship as such. Eliminated. D. Delhi is our answer here. Clear to everyone? Just remember these words. Revise this. Okay. Let's say tomorrow, day after. Just revise it once. Question 6. Which of the following is correctly spelled? Let's see who answers the fastest here. What is the correct spelling of this word? Tell me. Okay, Saili says C. Saili has answered the fastest. Others? A. Okay. C, D, A, C, D, E. Okay, so just B is left. All right. So last year you had some difficult spelling questions. So in that spirit, I included this one. It's not that difficult to be honest. Machiavelli. Machiavelli was a person. Nicholas Machiavelli. He was an Italian political strategist. He is the Chanakya of Italy, right? That's how you can remember his name. So, based on his name, we have a word called Machiavellian. So, which is the correct spelling then? It is E. So, Chaitanya, no, it is E, Machiavellian. Okay. So, there's a double L. In C, there is a single L. That's the problem with C. Uh, this person was very cunning, okay, and cruel also. So, when you want to refer to someone as cruel and cunning, you can describe them as Machiavellian. That's the adjective that you can use for them. Okay, so hence E is the correct spelling here. So just remember it, Machiavelli, उसमें हमने बस an लगा दिया. Velli has double L. Okay, all right. Question 7. Yes, now we have some quick fill in the blank questions. So let's see what you say. Question 7. I want enthusiastic responses now. We are just left with some quick fill in the blanks and one word usage question. Let's see what you say. Yeah. And who answers the fastest? Okay. So you feel Chanakya was not really cruel, but yes, he was cunning. Oh, that's great, Yogesh. Our foreign minister gave this example. Acha, gave his example. Okay, okay. Probably not aware. B, D, A. Okay, let's have a look which is correct. Hmm. So to rake someone over the coals or to haul someone over the coals, it means to reprimand them, to scold them strongly. Okay, to scold or reprimand strongly. This idiom has a very cruel origin. Okay, the origin is that in the Middle Ages, when Christianity was spreading in the world, if you did not abide by Christianity, you were termed a heretic, and then you were literally dragged over the coals, over red hot coals. Okay, so it comes from there. So to haul someone over the holes, or over the coals, or to rake someone over the coals, it means to scold or reprimand them. All right, I hope you'll remember this. Okay, now tell me in which of the sentences the word efficacy has been used correctly. Yes, in which of the sentences has the word efficacy been used correctly? Let's see, read the sentences. B, D. Okay. What else? Okay. E. Very diverse responses. What is efficacy? Yes. What is efficacy? Usually, when vaccines, when COVID vaccines were being launched, I heard this word all the time that they are testing the efficacy of this so and so vaccine, right? So, what is efficacy? Let's first learn that. It means effectiveness. Okay. Very simply put, it means effectiveness, the ability to produce a desired result. So, efficacy is effectiveness. Now, the results don't bring effectiveness about how well the vaccines will work. Basically, I want to say confirm a sense of certainty, right? They don't bring any certainty about how well the vaccines will work or for how long. So the results don't bring any such certainty, any such confirmation. Efficacy does not fit in one. Those who are saying one, it does not fit in one. The celebrated hairy crab is a delicacy. Okay, delicacy, something that is considered to be gourmet meal, luxurious, sumptuous meal. That is a delicacy. Three, only three, monitoring and surveillance of drug effectiveness is being built into operational programs. So let's say some programs related to these vaccines, COVID vaccines, in their operations, we are also monitoring how effective they are proving to be for various people on whom they have been administered. So C is the only possible answer here. Okay, not A, not E. Hope this is clear. Now, a fill in the blank for you, a quick fill in the blank. We're just left with a couple of questions. Yes. So I need you to be present, just left with two more questions and then we are done. What do you say for ninth? This is a word that we have covered often in our sessions. Come on, tell me quickly. D, Delhi. Krupali says D. And yes, I'll see you tomorrow at 12. Okay, so tomorrow is another last lap session at 12 where we'll talk exclusively about parajumbles. Okay, so in case parajumbles is a weak spot for you, okay, then you should attend it. D, C. All right. C, notion. She was the typical example. That's what I want to say. She embodied professionalism. Okay. She embodied professionalism. So the word for that is epitome. Epitome means when you are a typical example for something, okay, the standard for something. When you embody that quality, okay, it's present in your very being. That is when you are the epitome of something. The other words don't fit. Concurrence too, when there's agreement on something. Nadir is the lowest point of something. Jargon, the technical words of a field. Notion, an idea or a concept. None of them make sense in this context. Just epitome. Okay. And the last question for the day. Let me see what you say. Fill in the blanks with the most appropriate choice. Very common words. Pratik. Okay, that symbol. Um, Epitome. Let me see what its Hindi would be. अरे हाँ प्रतीक ही है. All right. It is Pratik. You are right. Yes, yes. So my mother is the epitome of kindness, right? So she's a typical example of kindness. वो kindness का प्रतीक है. So 10th, what do you say? D is what you say, outlawed. Absolutely correct. See, before the ownership of humans was banned by law, that's what I mean to say, outlawed. Slaves were always supposed to be subordinate to their owners. Integrated is an opposite idea, does not fit. Savage, we just read. Savage means something that's brutal, that's barbaric. Okay, so savaged it does not even make sense. Okay, to use savage as a verb. It's an adjective. Triggered again means that something was started, eliminated. Sanded, no. Again, does not fit here. It's just outlawed that fits. So easy questions towards the end. These were two fill in the blank questions for you. With this, we've covered all the questions of various types of grammar and vocabulary. My suggestion to you is that pay attention to the usages of the words that we have learned today, revise them once, and yes, I'm sure that by now you are thorough with the basic concepts of grammar, right? So if you have any notes made, then one day before the exam, you can revise from those notes. Okay? All right. Any queries that you have, anything that you wish to ask, please do. Yes. So to sand something, this happens at homes, no? You use a sandpaper and then you polish something. So that is the idea of sanding something. That's how we use it as a verb. They are sanding the floor, right? Welcome, guys. Welcome. These are the upcoming sessions, so just have a look, okay? And tomorrow I'll see you with parajumbles, right? Okay. And yes, don't forget to join us for the analysis. By now, you know that we'll come up with an analysis after the exam. So stay tuned and join us. This is our comprehensive CAT 23 program. In case you or any of your friends are planning to take it, then do join this, do enroll. The link is in the description box. All right. And yes, stay connected. I hope you've liked the session. You've subscribed to the channel, and we are everywhere on social media. You can also watch some of our sessions on the app. Okay. Yes, scrubbing something with sandpaper. Correct, correct, correct. Could, would, can, just Google. Nihal, just look at their meaning. You know, the meaning given by Oxford Dictionary is so comprehensive, you learn all the usages. Okay. All the best, guys. All the best. Although I'll meet you tomorrow as well, but again, I'll still wish you today also all the very best for the exam. Right? Just don't get nervous. Mark each and every question. There's no negative marking, and you'll do well. Okay. All right. Epitome, a typical example. Welcome. Bye bye. Welcome. Welcome. See you tomorrow at 12.